Hello everyone, Andrew from FootballManagerGuide.com here, and today we're going to be doing a preview and a review of FM21, which comes out in its full version on November 24th. Right now, the beta is out. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and if the video gives you reason to want to buy the actual game, we'd much appreciate you doing it through the link in the description. We get a small commission for you doing that. So, what are we going to do today? Well, we're going to give a preview, what's new in FM21. We're going to give a review with some talking points about what we have noticed in the game. And we're going to be answering the question, is it worth buying? So, what's new in FM21? Well, first there's a new intro splash screen, which I don't think many of us care about, but it's something there. There's some new graphical interface updates. Some of the things that might be interesting for returning FM players is that the condition and match sharpness has now been replaced with icons and are no longer percentages. There are new player and team interactions, which we will discuss and look at a little bit later, but those are, of course, your discussions with players and the team at large. But the big things are the game day improvements and the match engine improvements, which we are going to dive right into now by looking at some gameplay. Okay, so my team selection is down, my tactics are ready, and we are heading off to Sweden, I think, to play FC Trollhättan. Let's go. Team selection done. You can see, as we spoke about before, the condition has changed a little bit from FM20. The sharpness indicator has changed a little bit, and the tactical changes apply either to all matches or the next match. We're going to submit the team. Yes. And this is the first major change you'll notice. On match day, there are 17 players who are concerned about the tactical familiarity. There are 6 players who are pleased with the team instructions, much higher pressing, and you get this type of feedback from your players about your tactics before every game. I think it is a fantastic addition to the match day experience because if you really were a manager, you would be hearing from your players about what they thought about the tactics. There has been one change made in my team selection from the last match. I have no opposition instructions. I'm going to go to the match. Before we even get to the dressing room, we have a social roundup on one side. There's a suggestion from my assistant managers about opposition instructions, and then the official roster, which is a new addition here. They are fielding a smaller team than I am. I have a lot of substitutes as this is a friendly, but we'll see how that goes. Let's go to the dressing room. Here you see an absolutely revamped and new dressing room, which engages the manager on a different level than it did in FM20. You may notice first and foremost that there's a physical change in the structure of the screen here, and it's supposed to be as if you're sitting in the room with all these players around you. You may already notice that there are emoticons that represent the feelings of the player. They're composed, most of them. Complacent is a little bit strange. It's a red one. It's obviously a negative emotion, but the face looks kind of like they're smiling. Anyhow, you can talk to your players in different ways than you could in FM20. You can address the room, or you can address each group, the defenders, the midfielders, the attackers, or you can address each individual. And replacing the old mood or manner in which you spoke to the players in FM20, if you remember, cautiously, aggressively, assertively, and now you have gestures. You can thrash your arms in an aggressive manner. You can point your finger assertively. You can put your hands together cautiously. You can put your hands in your pockets, being reluctant, hands on hips, facing the team, pumping your fists to encourage them, and outstretched arms to praise them. The only one that isn't quite clear is hands on hips. I like hands on hips because I don't really know what it means yet, and I think that's kind of abstract. We're in a friendly. I I'm not too sure exactly what to tell them in such an early friendly. So I'm going to put my hands on my hips and say we're favorites for a reason. Let's go out and make sure there's no doubt about that. All right, the pep talk is complete. No reaction. All right, here's our kickoff. Now you can see in the start of each game here, there is let me put on pause quickly. There is a little bit more of a fancy startup screen or match start screen than there was in FM20. And immediately you will notice that the setup of the match day screen is quite different. You have the match stats on the left hand side, you have the dugout, which is where you get information from your assistant manager, you have the touchline tablet, which gives you information about the focus of attacks as well as the opposition's formation and stats. You can customize all of these to your liking, but the really big and for me exciting change here is this bottom part here. On the left-hand side, you have the team instructions and the team-focused or team-oriented manager tools. Of course, you can change the mentality or you can change your tactics completely. If you have a match plan, you can put it into effect. The instructions come up easier than they used to in FM20. You can just simply go in here and change whatever instructions you need. Shouts for the entire team are also on this bottom left-hand corner. But it really shines for the individuals here. You see all of your players, outfield players, including your keeper down here, and if you just click on them, it'll give you a lot of information, allow you to do a lot of things that you otherwise would have had to do differently in FM20. You can see that this player is complacent. He's playing a wingback support role, and I can change that if I want very quickly. It also tells me his role ability for each of these. Player instructions are easy to get up just by clicking on player instructions. I can make quick changes. I can give him a touchline shout, this one specific player, or I can substitute him off. So all of these things can be done right from just the simple click of a button down here at the bottom part of the screen. It does make the flow of the match, the immersion of the feeling of being a manager, a lot more, well, immersive. It's a lot more exciting to be a manager with this. But what I would like to do is to show a little bit more of the rest of the match, because it does not end there with this new match day screen. It continues on with the match engine. Let's take a look. Hopefully we'll get some highlights. You can see the dugout has now come up with some new information here. We got a corner going, a little bit over the bar. The visualizer also tells you what's happening. If you look at the match stats, you may notice something quite important. We'll get back to that. Opposition has the ball at the moment. We've taken it back and it's been centered. Our forwards come up, hopefully. Yes, that is exactly what I wanted to note when I was talking about the match engine. In FM20, you would often see your wide forwards or wingers making strange decisions to shoot the ball when there were clearly better options. Now in this situation, you saw it ended up disallowed because it was offside. Fair enough. I'll take that. That's for the time being, for this example, I will accept that. But the decision made by that forward on getting out to the wing there, getting out to the side to cross the ball in instead of cut in himself and take the shot is something very different than what I remember seeing in FM20. And it was a constant source of frustration for many of us playing FM20 to see that happen. So now it seems to have been improved, and it does make a big difference, I must say. Nice pass from the back, and that should be a tap in. Very good. I've noticed that the formation I am playing often allows the midfielders to pass the ball back to the central defenders, fullbacks, and then have them launch the ball forward to my attacking players, who oftentimes get a clear run on goal. So I'm enjoying the 4-3-3 tactic. 38 minutes into the game, you can see, as I was mentioning before, what I was starting to mention before, and I will get to at the half here, is the interesting new statistic often used, the XG. And we have at the moment an XG of 0.88, which says we're putting a good performance in according to XG, as our total XG was greater than our opponents. So that gives us a lot of hope going forward. You also have the player statistics screen, which is I would say mostly just a graphical difference from FM20. Analytical data, I really like this screen. The shot map has been revamped, and it shows you all the XG, the shots according to their XG, what is high XG and what is low XG. Fantastic addition to this. Latest scores and table is pretty much the same as it was in FM20. We're going to go to the dressing room. I'm going to say pump the fists. Let's keep going. That was pumping the fists in enthusiasm. Yeah, and we're going to start the second half. Let's see if we can get some good highlights here. We've pretty much dominated the match. There's been 5 corners for us, 8 shots, while the opposition has had nothing. Until now. Well, isn't that FM for you? Immediately when you think you're doing all right, it turns around on you. But you know what? That's part of the fun of the game, and part of the fun of football. I'm going to be making a few tactical changes here. Now, as I mentioned, making the individual, I'm going to put on pause for a second, making the individual changes here as easy as clicking on them and substituting off the players. However, because I am going, this is a friendly and I want to do a mass substitution, I'm going to go into the tactical arena here and change a lot of players. I wanted to mention one more thing. I can't remember really if you could do this as quickly as you can in FM21, but if you want to change your formation quickly, it's as easy as just pulling down the players to the correct formation that you want. I may play a 4-5-1 later on in the game if I want to close it out. Let's say we pick up that last goal and I want my players to kill off the game, or to dominate possession in order to waste time. I might do a little bit of a change in the wasting time metric here and move to a 4-5-1. But let's make our substitutions really quickly. I don't have a lot of forwards to sub, so I'm going to be making some strange substitutions when it comes to the forwards pretty soon. Daniel Broughton will probably be playing as a forward. Anderson, yeah. Let's do these quickly here. Bringing in, again, this is a friendly. I can't say that I'm taking this deeply seriously. It's more just to show the dynamics of the game and how everything works. Let's put in the attacking midfielder right on. Yeah. So these are some strange subs for the forwards, but we just want to get them into shape anyhow. All right. We continue on. Free kick for the opposition. Let's hope we can get a counter off of this. Probably not. Oh, well, at least it was over the bar. We've picked it up. Victorio takes a shot that's right at goal. I'm skeptical to that decision. I was going on and on and on about how the decision making in this game has improved. That seemed like a little bit of a strange decision, but I guess you can't you can't expect the players to make the best decision all the time, whether it's a video game or real life. So that might be appropriate. Ah, what a shot. We'll take it. Thank you, Stian Pettersson. Well done. Another one. Oh, well, that went off the bar. However, you might notice that the graphics in the game have improved in a way that I really can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but the animation seems smoother, and the graphics seem just seem better. I haven't played it enough yet to really point my finger to what exactly is better, but it is better. Are we going to get a red card? No, it's just going to be the last second free kick. Am I going to get FM'd? I think I made it out this time. Fantastic. Well, we took a win there. You can see again, we've got the XM match story here. We put in a fantastic performance according to XG. Excuse me, not XM, XG. With the total XG was far greater than our opponents. So that was a good game. And I'm going to outstretch my arms and say that was a good game. You can see the feedback from all the players as it was in FM, but now in a bit of a different format. Everybody's looking inspired and motivated. So that really was one of that match day experience. That really was one of the biggest changes to FM21, and absolutely does create a new dynamic that is makes the game just that much more enjoyable. Now let's take a look at one of the new player interactions, something that SI calls a quick chat. So I'm going to go into dynamics and find a player I want to speak to. In this case, I'm going to use Tom Skogsrud. He's a team leader and perhaps appropriate to speak with him. I go into discuss from the top menu here, and then I've got different options for a quick chat. I can ask him to recommend a staff addition, or praise his conduct, or ask for advice, or warn the player about removing him from captaincy. There's any manner of things I can do. I'm going to praise his conduct because that's just a simple, really nothing discussion. And you see this quick chat window comes up with a lot of different possibilities. One of the things is how you physically greet the player. You can put your arm around him, you can pat him on the shoulder, you can give him a handshake. I don't know him that well, I'm going to give him a handshake. And I'm simply going to say something like, I've been pleased with your recent conduct. I don't really want to say all that much to him because this is just an example, but let's give it a shot. Yeah, and then you see the feedback from the player. Slightly positive. His morale didn't really move up all that much, and it explains a little bit about how the conversation went. So I'm going to end this quick chat. So what does this all add up to? Well, in my opinion, there's some negatives, some neutrals, and some positives. First, let's take a look at the negatives. Well, basically, there is no real updates outside of the match day experience. And what I say is the menus are pretty much the same. The feel of everything outside of actually playing on match day is pretty much the same. There were some new roles that came into the game. In terms of recruitment, scouting, and coaching, there was one role, I believe, in each of those categories. Not too sure what they do yet. Outside of that, I can't see a lot of changes to the game. It's pretty much FM20. The small improvements, neutrally here, the small improvements to the interface are there, but they're few and they're uninteresting. Again, the change to the icons for the condition and the match sharpness is something, and perhaps it was about time for them to make a change like that. But there's not a lot of changes of that type, and it's not really that much of a big deal. However, there are some positives here, and they are big positives. There are better animations in the game, there are better player and team interactions, the match engine is improved significantly, and the overall feeling on match day is much, much better than it was in FM20. So that leads us to the question, is it worth it? Well, we have to split this into two camps here. Are you a casual FM player, or do you live and breathe FM and play it with thousands of hours on your game? Play it maybe until your manager is 150 years old. Well, if you're a casual FM player, I would say you might want to wait a little bit, because FM20 is still a good alternative, and the changes in FM21 may not be enough for somebody who doesn't play it every day. However, if you live and breathe FM, buy it immediately, because for FM lovers like myself, and I'm sure many of you are as well, the Match Engine alone is a huge game changer. In addition to that, the smoother matchday gameplay makes it really worth the buy. I enjoy it on a personal level. I have to say I enjoy it quite a bit more than FM20. I probably would have bought it anyhow, because I do have thousands and thousands of hours playing FM, and I am addicted to the game, so I probably would have purchased it anyhow. But I do notice a difference in the Match Engine. Again, outside of the match day, don't expect much, but in the actual playing the game, the simulation factor of FM, it really is an improvement where it was needed from FM20. So lastly, I'd just like to thank you so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you decide to purchase FM21 due to this video, then please do so through the link in the description. We get a small commission from it. Outside of that, thank you so much again for watching, and we will see you next time.